Welcome back to the Shade Tree Certified channel. I'm back at it again. Today we're doing some more barbecue pit mods, so I'll show you what I'm doing. Well, as I mentioned in the last video, I have these garbage grates out of a piece of junk rusted out char griller that I just saved because the original grate in this thing was rusted out, burned up, is all warped and stuff. So I've kind of didn't think about filming this, so I went ahead and cut out this bottom grate for it to put in the bottom for coals to sit on, and I'm about to cut out a grate for the inside of this. And I actually measured it in the last video. I think I said it was like 16 by 28. It's actually 15 inches by 25. So I went and bought a piece of expanded metal from the store that's 24 by 24. I'm not really going to worry about a inch on the end because I've got this little lip I've got to get it around. So I'm going to cut the 15-inch dimension out of it, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. So this is my expanded metal that I got from Ace Hardware. This thing was like 27 bucks. I feel like I got drug over the coals on it because you can buy an entire 8x4 sheet of expanded metal for like 80 bucks, and I bought essentially an eighth of a sheet for freaking $27. So, but it's what I had to do. If I bought a whole sheet, then I'd have to figure out where to store it, and I'm not going to use the whole thing for a while. But there's the cooking surface, and then this is the fire grate that I already cut out and put in the pit. But this is just a 2-inch shaker screen out of a rock crusher that I got out of a scrap metal bin at some job site I was at this past week. So got it for free, so that's nice. If I would have had to go and buy some really stout expanded metal, it probably would have cost me triple the price of that. So I'm going to mark my 15-inch dimension across here, and I'll show you how I'm going to cut it out after I get it marked. So I've got my measurement laid out, 15 inches. Well, 15 and a quarter actually. The inside dimension of the pit is 15 and a quarter, and it just so happens that the top of this loop right here is 15 and a quarter, so I'll be able to fit it in there. One thing I do want to point out, when you're cutting expanded metal with whatever you're using to cut it, cut off wheel, torch, whatever, you want to cut over the last loop that you're wanting to keep. Like my mark right here in the middle of this, I'm not going to get my torch and cut right through the middle of that because it's going to leave these two legs sticking out all loosey-goosey, and it just looks like crap. And so I'm going to take my torch and go around the top of that radius and make it where this loop right here stays attached. It looks nice. It's going to look just like the factory cut on the end. And when handling expanded metal, anytime you're going to grab it, be very mindful that these right here are literally razor sharp, because they get, the way they make this is they take a flat sheet of metal and they have a brake or a cutter that goes in and cuts it, and then it moves over here, cuts it and cuts it and cuts it and cuts it. So it's basically shearing this metal off, and it's leaving almost a razor sharp edge on each one of these things. So be super careful when you're handling this. I've had it cut through leather gloves, so be super duper duper careful, especially if you're handling a full sheet. Like, be sure to wear at least welding gloves that are super thick, tough leather if you're going to be handling this stuff, because just putting pressure from your finger on this can cut through your finger. And this is just with a standard oxyacetylene torch. If you don't have a torch, not to worry. You can use a Sawzall, a cutoff wheel. If you have a regular circular saw, you can go to Home Depot or wherever and get you a Diablo ferrous metal cutting blade. I've used that before cutting regular steel plate with my Milwaukee M18 circular saw, but I have my torch out just because I had to cut that thicker stuff with my torch. But you may be able to even use bolt cutters, but I mean, you can use a cutoff wheel, torch, bolt cutters, circular saw, whatever you want to do, whatever makes a clean cut, whatever you have that'll work and work safely. So I'm going to get going cutting this thing and try to make a video of me cutting it. For our safety equipment, you want to use some Shade 5 or darker cutting glasses. I feel like Shade 5 is adequate. I think Shade 3 is like the lightest that cutting glasses are made. I like a Shade 5 just because it doesn't leave spots in my vision, and I feel like anytime, I'm not a scientist or a doctor, but I feel like if you're getting spots in your vision from bright lights, it's hurting your eyes. So I use a Shade 5, and that doesn't leave spots in my vision, but I can still see what I'm working with. And you're also going to want to get you a pair of welding gloves that are pretty thick. You can use regular leather gloves, but things get hot really fast in thin gloves, so just be sure to be mindful of where you're putting your hands. Alright, just like that, we got a nice, clean, factory-looking cut. I probably should have knocked that off of there, but oh well. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. That kind of looks crappy. Alright, just like that, we got a nice, clean, factory-looking cut all on the edge of this thing. And like I said, I just took my torch and went around that radius right there, and this thing had a little leg sticking off. I just cut that off just so I wouldn't have an extra barb hanging out there to get stuck on stuff. So I'm gonna take this over here and stick it in the pit. I'm glad I did go with a 24-inch because there's gonna be a little bit of room left on each end of the pit, but it is what it is. 24 inches is the biggest dimension that I could get, but that leaves me, if I did have it all the way 25, 26 inches, it'd be a pain in the butt to get it weaseled up and get out of there without like bending it up and all that stuff. So that fits in there nicely front to back. That's fine. I may later on weld a piece of like flat bar or something over here. That's probably what I'll do to fill in that gap so I don't lose food. But quick little easy project. I'm actually gonna get this thing fired up here in a second and start smoking my turkey on it since my pit boss went out on me over the weekend. I'm cooking. It's always B&B lump charcoal, not briquettes. Briquettes, garbage. Actually, no, it's not that bad. They start better than lump charcoal, but these burn, I feel like these burn cleaner, hotter, And not to mention, it's made in Mexico, but B&B lump charcoal, Weimar, Texas. That's what I'm talking about. So I was sitting here finishing up editing this video, folks, and I realized I didn't do an outro on this thing. So here I am doing that outro. Just wanted to say thanks for watching if you made it this far. Appreciate you tuning into the Shade Tree Certified YouTube channel. As you can see, I got plenty of other content down here. If you don't mind, go ahead, give me a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I'm also about to release channel membership opportunities for y'all, which I will talk about some more details in that. But since I finally met the threshold to start earning revenue on YouTube, figured I'd go ahead and make it optional for channel subscribers to support me and the content I provide if you like it. If not, that's totally fine. I won't hold it against you by any means. There's plenty of YouTubers that I follow that I don't pay money to. Actually, 90% of the people I follow, I don't pay money to. There's a couple of channels that I do have a membership to. That's just an extra way to help support that content creator, which I don't call myself a content creator. That's kind of a term that I don't really label myself as, but I'm really thankful for all of the subscribers I've gotten so far. As you can see, I've got 2,170-ish subscribers so far, and that's way more than I thought I would have in the 3 or 4 months that I've had this channel going. And I greatly appreciate everyone who's watched, everybody who's subscribed. If you don't mind, I've got all these videos down here with 23 views, 50 views, 187 views. If you don't mind, if you're subscribed to the channel, go on the video list and just click in and start the video so it can log a view. I think you have to watch the video for like 20 seconds for it to register as a view to YouTube, just so I can get my viewership count up. I'd greatly appreciate it. If not, again, that's okay. But that's my spiel. Appreciate you supporting my YouTube channel. This is Shade Tree Certified. I'll see you on the next video.